So does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
I do. It's actually pertinent to what we celebrated today, the triumph of Orthodoxy. And something that was brought to my attention by some of my heterodox family was some of the wording in the canons of the Seventh Ecumenical Council. Whenever it talks about people who refuse to venerate icons, I should preface this by saying that I was always told that we as Orthodox Christians don't say whether somebody's going to heaven or hell. In the canons of the Seventh Ecumenical Council, it uses phrases like they're consigned to the outer darkness, they're separated from God, and just other such really strong language. I wanted to know your take on that, because that seems to suggest the opposite of what I...
Okay, well, first of all, a person who rejects truth is really in a bad place.
Right.
A person who doesn't know the truth, well, what does Christ say? A person who knows little will have less stripes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one who knows more is responsible for more, has more stripes, beaten with more stripes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we apply that here. A person who rejects the truth is technically a heretic. A person who doesn't know the truth is a person who believes heretical things, but they didn't reject it. They didn't reject the truth. They never knew it. Personally, I don't get all caught up in that. I realized that at the time, there were people that were against the icons, that were killing people and destroying icons and persecuting people. So it was a lot more than just whether or not a person likes icons. It was about persecution and dealing death to people. And so in that context, I think you're going to use a little bit stronger language about those who oppose icons. Now people oppose icons because, I don't know, their grandpappy told them that they're idols, right? And that's all they know. And, may God deliver them from that belief, and may they find paradise. I don't really spend a lot of time or energy trying to figure out where people are going or what people are doing or that language. I really think the language at the time was because there was a lot going on. Mm-hmm. And people who reject the truth, blatantly reject the truth, they're in a very dangerous place. People that don't know the truth, well, Romans chapter 2 seems to talk about those people. And God judges as he wishes to judge. I think we have to have a nuanced view and not try to be some sort of exact treatise about something, because God hasn't revealed all these things. We certainly shouldn't think that everywhere and anywhere people are part of the church. That's not true. The church has definite boundaries of membership, but then God can do whatever he wishes. And we're not in the business of trying to be God. Well, we are kind of. We're in the business of trying to become like God, aren't we? So I don't really fuss with it too much. I understand that probably if I were talking to my 35-year-ago self, I might have had more struggle with it. But in the course of time, God's revealed the truth to me, and I'm responsible for following it. And those that don't know the truth, well, I pray for them. I don't really spend a lot of time with it. And that's where I really advise you guys try not to be super rigid about things. Rigid about what you do, strict with yourself. As far as other people, we pray for them. That doesn't mean somebody says, hey, will you go to my revival where we can pray in tongues tonight? No, I wouldn't do that. I mean, that would be a forbidden kind of activity. But if they want to go and pray in tongues, well, that's why I talked about that revival. I think the revival is pretty charismatic, I believe, the one that's happening in Kentucky. And, I was around them kind of people. I never spoke in tongues because it always seemed pretty contrived to me. God kind of protected me from it, but I was around people that did it. And I kind of tried to believe in it, but I didn't because I don't know, it's too contrived, the way they explained it. So I never got sucked into it, but I was around those people. And I had a conversion where I had Jesus in my heart. And I'm not going to tell you what I was back then. I don't know. I know what I am now. So that's what I'm, concerned about. And everybody's in a different spot. And we have charity for everyone and pray for everyone. And I think we should be very careful not to say, especially to family members and such, you're a heretic. We don't call people heretics. Now, there are people who are Orthodox bishops who are certainly becoming heretics. And eventually I hope they're labeled as such. But that's people who are rejecting the truth. Not people who didn't know it or were taught something different. That's my take on it.
So I kind of figured, because, it was written to, by, and for people who were already baptized in the church,
Yes.
But I wanted to pick your brain.
Yeah. Just like anybody else, the church has entered into modern times, and modern times are quite confusing, quite difficult. It used to be, well, you were Orthodox, your village was Orthodox. That was it. Okay, maybe your village had some Jews. Okay. They were clearly Jews, you were clearly Christians. It's all good. And even when there's Muslims, like, and they'd live side by side, the Muslims were Muslims, the Christians were Christians, we're all good. Now it's like, now people call themselves Christian and they don't have anything that resembles Christianity. It's a very confusing time. And we have family members, every one of us has family members that are not Orthodox and they're this and they're that. It's a confusing and difficult time.